Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. We're taking information from last week and we're gonna make it more gooder.
More gooder
this
yes.
week. So we went over collections and variables. We're gonna reuse those and we're gonna take it next step. We're gonna automate software that we don't have in the library.
Yes.
In this case, we're doing Discord because PDQ has a Discord. Everyone should join.
But you could do anything you want, right? Any software.
Any software that you can get a hold of. If there is particular licensing, you might have to modify the script, but that's going to be the deployment package itself. So there's going to be gotchas for any type you do, but if you put in the initial work, you can automate anything, yes.
Okay.
All right, so I guess the first place we're going to start with is variables or collections?
Let's make variables. So let's present a use case just so they know what we're talking about. So this is any software that isn't in the software repository that you want to make and then create a variable for, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I need to remember what I named my variables for my scripts. 1 second.
Okay, let's find that.
I'm a professional.
I know. You got this.
App for Discord.
So we have for variables, we're going to do a name variable, and then we're going to do a version variable, right?
Yeah, so the version for the version of the software, and then just the name, just because in case they change anything, you need to update that. It's easier to just have a single location.
Okay, so first we're going to do the version.
901.
And you just know the version because you're you, but I would have to look it up.
Right there. I looked it up
Okay.
about 10 minutes ago. It looked like I was part of the conversation, but I wasn't. I was working.
Can I just fill in what they don't know? You've already downloaded the installer. You already have it there. So just in case they haven't done that part, you already would have downloaded it.
Yes.
Okay, now we're making variables.
All right, so I don't know what the name of the other one
Name.
was. I'm going to assume app name, Discord. And in that, I'm just going to put Discord.
Okay.
And so this is when we have to create this in both of those. If you have the collection beforehand, when you import a collection, if it has variables required for it or in there, it will build those variables for you.
Oh, okay.
But, I didn't do it that way because I'm not smart.
Do you have a preference?
For me?
Yeah.
Having stuff done for me, if I can, which is what importing would do.
Okay.
But now I'm going to have to copy and paste because I don't know how words work. All right, so outside of variables, and then these are basically, we're going to be using those in our collections.
Okay, now what are you doing now? You have to do them in both places?
Yes, now I'm building it in Deploy.
So you do it in inventory, and then you come over to deploy, and you're going to do the exact same thing, and it has to be named the exact same thing. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be named the same thing, but it's certainly going to work a lot better for you if it is.
But why wouldn't you name it the same thing? Okay.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend it. Okay, so now...
And I'm going to call this out because you're not saving this.
So yeah, you have to click out for it to save, otherwise you might lose the data there.
But
so,
I just closed the window and it's saved.
Yes.
Okay.
Make sure we got the variables in both of those. Okay, now they got variables. It's time for collections. There's lots of ways to do this. You can build it from scratch. I come in a lot of times and copy something. I'm going to do Firefox. Duplicate, and then you just go in and you change the variables on that one.
Okay. So you can make a new one, but you just prefer this because it's easier, and then you're going to change the values contained within the collection.
Yeah, but I am now just thinking about a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I built a script to automate building collections where this isn't necessary either.
Now you're wishing you did that.
So that probably would have been the way to go. So basically the overall goal, what you're going to come in here if you do the copy, is removing what you don't need and then changing the variable names from the system variable down to a custom variable.
Okay, so you're clicking on the blue X, and now you're picking the custom variable that we just grabbed, and this is going to be a name variable, and then you're going to save that. Okay.
Yeah, so I could go through and I could make that change for all of them that are in here.
So that's our very first one, and now you're going to make...
Well, now I'm just going to delete that, and I'm just going to import one that I pre-built.
Oh, okay.
Just because no one wants to watch me make 37 minor changes to filtering.
Okay.
I mean, if they do, I apologize for missing the target audience here. All right, so this is one that I had gone through and made the changes, then it just exported out.
Okay.
But if you look, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to have the variable name with everything changed, and same for the oldest. So, yeah, so creating it is better. And if you are curious about automating, I guess I can bring... I'm going to go off book.
Okay. Do it.
Maybe. Where am I at? I just want to open Chrome. This computer's run.
The computer's mad at
me.
you.
All
Where's
right.
Chrome? There it is.
Here we go. So PDQ GitHub bonus content. Let's see if this works. All right, so in here you have the auto collection. It's just you need the XML and the PowerShell script, and you ask the questions, the same things. What's the variable name? What's everything else? And it will, using a blank template, build the collection, and when you import it, build the variables for you. So instead of going through and doing all that customization, you can just run a single PowerShell script, feed it the information, and you're good to go.
And it will do it itself.
Yeah.
And you, okay.
Yeah, I probably should have done that one, but I didn't think about it until just now.
Okay.
That was a long line of someone asking me, hey, can you do something? And then I do it and forget about it. All right,
But you remember that thing you said in high school 25 years ago?
because it was embarrassing. That was just a functioning script.
Okay.
Show it working. Well, if we have extra time,
we have time, yeah.
time at the end,
There's
I
more
wanna
stuff,
get through
Marcel.
everything.
He's got a whole thing planned.
All right, so if you look in here, we see we have 9 machines with Discord. That's the collection part of it. The next part is going to be we need to build our scheduling as well as our deployment package.
Okay. So we've built our custom variables. Now we're going on to the package. Discord is our package.
Discord install because I'm creative with my names.
You really are.
Install step. And this is where we're going to really use the variables because as we do the updating, if we're going to automate this process, it has to automatically point to the new install location. So the first thing is it's basically going to be 3 variables. We're going to start with the repo because that is the default location of our software installs.
Okay.
Don't have to do that one. It's just easy for me. All right. Then the next one, we're going to do the name of the software.
Okay.
And then the last one, we are going to do the version. So my script is going to go through and when it downloads a new version, it's going to create a folder with the name of the version. So I have a reference point when I'm building or updating everything.
Okay, so first we're specifying the name of the custom one we just made, then the version, and this is going to keep us update.
Yep. And then
I hate that it goes red and makes you think you're making an error. I hate that.
I just had to look up the default. So it's discord setup.exe. All right. Now the red goes away because it's there.
I know,
And
yeah.
normally where this is executable, we have to look up the silent parameters. It's -s.
Okay.
That was, I looked that up earlier. I didn't want to do that live.
Okay.
So now with this one, it will go through anything we update. As automation comes through, it's going to build a new one. The folder is going to update, but it will always point to the latest version. So this package will always install the latest version of the software that you have, or whatever your variables are telling them is the latest. If you mess up the variables, it could break it. But
So that's the beauty of doing the work to set up the variables is you'll always stay up to date once you put in the work up front.
yes.
Okay.
All right. The next part is, you need to schedule. Things have to install. And this is more the same. What we do, we'll say Thursdays at 2 p.m. is when I do my software updates, apparently.
2 a.m. That's better. Let's do 2 a.m. Yeah.
No, it's too late.
Okay, yeah.
I've already clicked off the tab. I can't just
Yeah,
go
no,
back.
okay, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so then it's inventory and then collection. We're just going to point to the collection we just built. But where we're updating old versions of the software, we want to point to all the old machines.
Yep.
So we're not worried if it doesn't have Discord. We're worried if it has
An older
an
version.
older version of Discord, the schedule will kick off. And then the last part we want to make sure we have checked is stop deploying targets if they succeed. So this way it's not constantly just no matter what every Thursday it's going to deploy to everything that's either way. This one is once it's done, it'll stop.
Yeah. Don't waste effort.
The issue with that is the update, the history needs to be cleared out, but I automated that as well.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Somebody already asked about AutoCAD.
Okay. So, theoretically, this would work with AutoCAD. The problem with AutoCAD is how complex the install is.
We talked about that during this week. So
There's so many source files and requirements, and each environment is unique. So if you build out an AutoCAD deployment that works for you, and just updating the executable updates everything else, then yes, this could be done with AutoCAD. But the process for installing AutoCAD is one of the more robust installs you're going to run into. So I will say it is theoretically possible. The amount of work is extensive. All right. Where was that? We were talking about the PowerShell now, or where are we at?
You did your schedule. I think we're on to. You're getting the ID. You had to get the ID number to put into your script.
Mark the ID, and also I didn't enable it for some reason. We're going to give it a name.
Let's do it. Discord.
Keeping it blank. Yeah, I'm very clever with my names.
You're super clever today.
All right, so we have triggers, we have targets, but I did not include the package. That's an important part.
Dang it, we need that.
It needs to know what to install. There we go. All right, so now we have the schedule. Obviously, this will install the latest version the one time, but you need to have the step into if there's a new version, how do we make the schedule works again?
Okay.
So the biggest part of the script, this first part, this is the part where there isn't a definitive answer. It's going to be unique for every software. It's going to require research. This is going to be the biggest labor part of it, just because each software you have, you're going to have to go through and find this information. In the case of Discord, I found the URI where it is, and I found out that it keeps the version number within that URI as the 6th option.
Okay.
But there's other ones where they might not have the version name or it's in a different location. So you have to find some way to capture that there is a new version, and you have to find a way to get everything downloaded. And there's a lot of variance in that I can't account for. So I'm going to show Discord, which is pretty straightforward. Just know that for other software, there's going to require a different setup or changing at least some of the script.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing, this is the database. That makes sense. We're querying the database for the variable of the version of Discord. All right, and then that's just the location of the repository, and that is the name of the install file, discord.setup.exe.
Okay.
That's just basic gathering. This next one is, this is the URI that we're querying. I found this just through research. It took some time, but we got there. And then after this, we're creating the actual HTTP request and method as a header.
Okay.
And then right here is just getting a response from a request.
Okay.
And then this last one is we're going in and say, is the version of this last request we have different from our variable? So Discord comes out with a new version. This URI is going to go to the latest one. It's going to have a different variable than when we query.
Okay.
And it's going to show up that it is different. And if they are different, then it's going to build the new folder, and it is going to download the file. He said, cool, without actually running anything.
Let's see if it works.
All right. So while that's running, if you want to see, so like new version here. It's the variable I captured on 15 is 1.0.9013. If we look at just the entire HTTP response, right, let's see, where is the one that's returning? Right here, the response URI. That's the string of data that I had, and you can see that the 6th option, that's the variable. So Discord was very straightforward for me. I just had to track, I basically split by the backslash, and I have to track which one had the information I wanted, and it was the 6th one.
Okay.
All right. Now that we ran that, if we go back to our repository, you can see the new one, 1.0.9013, and the old one is still there. And then we have one called archive. This is just in case if the archive's not necessary, it would require a little bit of change to make it work. But if you want to keep a history, this will do that for you. If you don't want to keep a history, it would be a pretty quick fix. Just require a couple lines.
Well, I'd want one in case I need to revert back. What if there's a bad update? I want to keep it.
It all depends on where you're at, what you want to do.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable just deleting right away, you can. If you want to keep a history, you can. I just put the history there just because I figured the same as you. If you have to roll back, it's nice to not have to go hunting.
Okay.
All right. But all of this isn't going to help so much with the automation. Also, it just gives us more installers, and our variables haven't updated. So it's still pointing to the old installer.
Okay.
So that's where this next script runs into the first one. And like I said, that one will work for Discord if that's what you're looking for. Any other software, just you have to do your research. Where is the URI? Where can I pull this down? Where does it store the version name? And you can do all of that.
Okay.
All right. So, and this one is a lot of the same thing. This is the repo path. I'm building a blank array, which I don't even think that's necessary, but here we are. Where the database is stored. This time we're using deploy instead of inventory. And then right here this is the information about the one that I'm updating. I have it pre-built for Discord, where the path Discord, that's just what's going to add to the end of the repo. That's where it's going to look for the install file.
Okay.
This is the schedule ID, which when we built the new one, that schedule was 6. And then this is the name of the variable that we'll be updating. I'm only doing one. I included two others that are blank in case if you want to do multiple software. So the download version that we showed first, each one of those is going to be unique. After you have done the download process and that's working, this only needs to be one script where you can just add other applications if you're looking to automate multiples.
Okay.
So I just kind of kept it blank here with just the app2 schedule IDs. But you just update this with all of the relevant information. And then right here, instead of just saying Discord for auto packages, you're just including all of them.
Okay.
All right. And now the next part is for each one of these packages, we want to make sure it has something new downloaded, which we are doing that with just a count of items. Because normally we have the version in there, we have the archive. Once it downloads the third one, as you saw, we have 3 in there. So basically we're saying if you go to that directory and list it, if there are 3 things listed, continue. If there's 2, there's nothing new. It's just going to close out at that point.
Okay.
All right. And the next part is it's going to, based on the new version, it's going to build the folder's built, but it's going to find which one is older, move that into the archive, and then it's going to go in and update all of your variables with the latest information. So all of your collections, all your schedules, the name of the package, all of that updates for you.
That's
from
awesome.
the script. So if we're looking through, so this is where it updates the variables. And the last part, it's going to go into the schedule that you listed. That's why we needed the schedule ID.
Right.
And it is going to, once it has built the new thing, new path, delete the entire history. So that way it will once again deploy to those machines again.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Because without that, it would have stopped at that point.
Yep.
So it's just a way to kind of have some, I guess, safeties in there. All right. I'm not sure. I guess I'll run this one and we'll see if it works.
Let's do it.
All right. So
Save with value 9.0. So we should see one disappear.
yeah. So now we look in there. The archive now contains the old one. If you were wondering, like if you don't want to keep the archive, just delete the archive folder. Change this 3 to a 2, and then instead of having at the end where you move the object, move item, have that delete item, and it will just wipe it out.
Oh, okay. Just change that. Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't take a whole lot to make it if you don't want to keep an archive. I just put it in there by default.
I have a weird question for you.
Okay.
I know you to be a minimalist.
Yes.
I see that you're commenting out the actions that your script is taking. Is that more or less than other scripters do in PowerShell?
What do you mean? So
You have one line, move the old crap to the audit folder and update the variables.
So that's all I'm doing is commenting what that section's doing. So it's more if someone goes through and uses a script after, if I'm not there to answer questions, it gives them a rough idea of what each section is doing.
If you're just writing the script for yourself, do you do that?
You should always comment.
Always.
If you're not leaving comments, although I think, I don't know, I don't want to step wrong in this one. I feel like you should always comment just because you're not always going to be there and you want people to be able to step in and do it.
Yeah.
But if you have great documentation for your module, maybe comments don't matter so much, but where this one's not a module, I'm just taking notes of what each step is doing. I think it's important.
And can you imagine how many comments I put? Like for real.
Oh my gosh.
So, but that's actually valuable because too many comments starts to lose value. People tune it out.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan, if I can just give my opinion on it, I tend to agree with you. If the code that you're writing is very simple and the commands explain what it's doing, you don't need to write a comment for every line. But if it's like a little bit more advanced code or it looks a little tricky, you should always explain what it's doing because, again, not everyone's going to know PowerShell to the super level that Jordan does.
I mean, do you see why I'm asking though, Andrew? Because I'm surprised he puts any comments in.
Well, it's best
There are
practice.
a lot of comments here.
Yeah,
I put this up in bonus content. So if I didn't
that's why I asked the question though. If it was your script.
So best practice is you always include comments. If I'm not going to throw it up in bonus content, I'm far less likely to.
I knew it.
But I should.
I knew it.
But just because I don't do it doesn't mean I should always do it.
Okay.
My favorite is leaving comments for yourself so you remember what you wrote because sometimes things can get a little dicey.
For sure.
Yeah, and also not just always just comments. You see, I put 3 if it is a legitimate comment. If I just remove a certain line, like in this case, where I only have the single app,
Yeah.
I did that. This is just so if I have multiple apps, it's just an easy swap and just where I'm removing those. So a single comment for me or single pound sign is removing a line of code that you don't want to run for a certain reason. And then I put 3 if I make it a comment. I don't know if that's best practice. That's just how I behave.
So remember 2 weeks ago when I said, I can't understand why you would go to all the work of making variables, and you said, just wait, I'll show you.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay, yeah. So with this all up and running, now the PowerShell, I mean, you're going to want to set the first PowerShell up to run on a schedule, how often you want to check for a new install. And the second one you can run every day, because if nothing's installed, it'll just say okay and skip over it. But there's two different things you want to run on a schedule. And you're going to want to run those on the server that has your deployed inventory. But with this, like in this case, Discord would now update for every machine. And if I go in and I install a new machine with Discord that didn't have it before, it will get added into the future loops as well.
Yeah.
So there's certain things, whether it's licensing or there's reasons that we can't include. There's a whole bunch of reasons why we can't always include something. So being able to put an automation on your end, I think is extremely valuable just because no one likes to do things manually.
I get it.
Yeah.
And Brock's blog shows how to do all the variables and the script, and you're going to include your bonus content for your scripts as well.
Yes. I will say for Brock's blog that on this one where I said it's the 6 after the hash or the backslash, it used to be a 3. So the URI did change.
Okay.
So if you are using Brock's blog as a reference, just know that 3 needs to be a 6 if you're looking to do Discord.
Okay. Are we going to blame Brock, though? I mean, just for fun?
No, he just put my code into his blog. Like, if it's still
just for fun, Jordan. Come on.
it was my code that broke. I mean, the responsible thing to do would be to update it.
Yeah, that would be responsible. It's interesting.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's grab a couple questions here. First one, sorry if you already said this, but are these PowerShell scripts Jordan is showing available to us somewhere? Adam N.
So, yes, those are included in Brock stuff as well as in bonus content.
I need the link to bonus content so I can put it in YouTube description.
Automate packages. Oh, look, I did Acrobat, apparently, and Remote NG. So apparently I did 3 in my example here. Where do I send this to? Do I just put it in the? I can't put it in the chat.
Just get it to me after, and we'll put it in.
So I could put this in the chat, but it looks like you have a couple scripts that you showed today that aren't in that folder.
So the 2 that I did today would be the download Discord as well as update variables. Just this folder also contains if you want to do Adobe Acrobat or Remote NG. Apparently, in my bonus content, I use 3 examples.
Nice.
Sweet.
Are there differences with the auto update vars.ps1 file there versus the one you used?
So the variable's the same no matter what. It's just what it's showing. So
right.
I don't know if that's hard to see. Here we go. As you can see, it's the same thing, only with auto packages. Instead of just having app 1, app 2, I've got Discord, Acrobat, and Remote NG, and then the line down there where it builds the entire array. So it's doing the exact same thing. It's just I have, in this case, 3 software examples instead of 1. So if we're looking at Remote NG, let's see how I did that one.
And that one's an MSI. Okay, so they're going to have to change
Yeah, so this one looks like the new version. When I did the web request, it returned a JSON, and I just had to go through and find and split and trim and find what I was looking for. But so in each case, I guess that's 3 different examples instead of just the one that I gave here. So bonus content for sure I'd check out if you want to see a bit more detail on it. All right, do we have other questions?
Yes, Andrew, do you have if you've got the bonus content link, can you throw that up in the YouTube chat, and then we'll grab it.
Yep.
Next question. Does this look similar to the back end of the PDQ package library, Fortress?
So for the PDQ library, that is a team of people way smarter than me, and they do have things like hash verification for extra security as well. So the way that works for our built-in library is more robust, more secure. It is a better version of this. This is just a quick version to work around. I think I saw someone chatting there that we need to add
file hash verification step,
which makes sense. And for that one, like when we do the file hash verification, it's kind of I don't know if it's still back when I was a part of that process. It was a manual thing because we'd have the one we downloaded, for example, that's going into the package, and then we'd do the manual comparison. We had a tool that would do that. If you were looking to, there's a quick PowerShell command to grab the file hash of a file, and then if you're looking to add that, you need to go find out where they put their file hashes on their website for the newest version, And that point, you download the install file. You could do comparison hash to that. It'd be a new query, and you'd have to find out where it's stored. But you could automate that. I'm actually liking this idea.
Now your brain's going. Now he's going to change the script.
Hey.
Here we go.
Yeah, as we definitely should be doing the file hash. I didn't add that one because I was just doing kind of quick and dirty. But if you can find out where they keep that on their record and compare it against the file you downloaded, that would be a nice security step to have.
Okay. You want one more question?
Let's do it.
Because I have one more.
All right.
Let's do it. If you are using the version variable for the old collection used for the deployment, do you need to check the stop deploying when they succeed, since current version will remove it from old? Alan M.
I mean, in that case where I'm pointing it to the old one as well, it's probably not necessary. I just really like to have that because if for some reason, I don't want it to keep on deploying multiple times. But to Alan's point, no, you probably wouldn't need to check it. You also wouldn't need to have the part about clearing the history if you don't check it. And then you're basically relying on the old version or that collection you built right there. It would work just as well. That is probably something that I overthought as well, but I'm keeping it because I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it too.
I would say also make sure that your scan after your deployments, it scans for applications, and then you should be doing okay there.
Look, Brock's already updated the blog. Very
Way to go,
fast.
Brock.
I could have told him Tuesday when I saw that, and I just didn't because,
Yeah.
whatever.
You like to torture Brock. Why not? Keep him on his toes.
All right. No other questions? All right.
That's
then
it.
I guess I would. Marcel was asking about showcasing the auto collection.
Yes, let's do the
Part?
first one.
All right. I'm going to show my lack of Discord knowledge as I try to download this stuff. Walk me through it, Andrew. Not
already
Discord,
forgot what you were
GitHub.
doing.
How do I download
GitHub.
something in GitHub?
Oh,
Yeah.
you git clone it.
I'm not logged
You're trying
into
to import
anything.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have anything. I think you can still git clone it if you have Git. You don't need the account. It'll.
No, I'm just gonna
click on
go.
this thing.
I'm just gonna
Just copy
copy
it,
everything
yeah.
into
Why not?
VS Code
Yeah,
here.
if your machine's not really set up
Yeah,
at all,
I am
it could,
not set
be
up
tough to
for-
do it on the spot. So
All right, let's see. PowerShell. Oof, that didn't go the way I wanted. I grabbed the footer apparently.
Yeah, I grabbed the stuff on the top when you captured it.
All right. Let's just do it live. What's the
Jordan,
worst
there is
that
a
could
button
happen?
that might help.
What's that? All right. And we're going to save this one as, where is it? Save as. Can't find save. We're just going to put it on the desktop. And what do we do this
The stream went down.
collection? The stream broke? Oh, look at that.
Oh, you got time how to make it work.
All right. That button was end stream. So am I wasting my time here by continuing? Oh, back for me
up.
now. Oh, man. I thought I was going to get out of trying to wing it. All right, now we're going to go to the XML one. Oh, where am I at? I am out of my comfort zone. All right, not Control A this time. I learned that lesson. So this XML is just a Jason Hanks built this one. It's just a blank XML that has a placeholder that I'm doing to replace when I build it. All right, file, new file. We're gonna do .txt this time.
Yeah, it's R.
What?
You did R.
I did. Oh,
Yeah.
text file. There we go. What language am I doing on this one? Is there just an XML language? That'd be nice. Look at that.
Oh, wow, yay.
VS Code. So cool. All right, so we are going to save this.
Sure.
He said with confidence.
All right, what did I name it? I'm going to go back again. Name of your application.
That's a sweet name. I like it.
Well, the name is important because I am calling that XML in the script, so I want to keep that the same. It builds a new XML off of this one. All right, we're back to VS Code again. Not XML. Okay. All right, so now if I did from desktop, I have to call the script. Should have just saved it where I could use it quickly.
No.
No? I'm going to move it.
This
I'm
is
going to
more
move it
fun
to
this way.
C10. I'm going to move it to C temp to save myself typing. How's that?
Okay. I like that too.
Do C temp. And we need what I just built. What did I just build?
Name of your application. Yep.
There we
those two.
go.
There we go.
There we go. I hope everyone's still with me instead of to watch my shame.
They are. They like it.
Hey, remember when I said stuff that embarrasses me? Will stick with me.
You're doing great. You're here.
Collection.ps1. All right. And then from there, let's see, variable name is, I don't want to do Discord again. I already did that one. Six zip.
6-zip? Okay.
Oh, and then application name is also 6-zip, only without the dash. I did a caret. Variable version name, it is 32.14. Uh-oh. I did it backwards. Abort. And then the application. That's okay. It was still going to work, and that'll be just great. And it'll just be backwards because the application name is 6-zip app name.
We like backwards.
All right. Now that my humiliation is complete, if we do import from ctemp, it's going to build 6-zip off of the one that we built. Oh, man.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is why I don't recall things that I did a year ago. All right, so there
It totally worked.
There is 6-zip. There's the latest. If you go in and look at it, it mentions those variables. As you can see, I had the version and name because I did my attributes wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you go to your variables, they are included in there.
That's pretty cool.
That's a nice one to have if you're building a lot of collections. Obviously, read your attributes more than I did because otherwise you're going to end up with it reversed, like so. But I don't know. That's a pretty quick way of building collections. Doesn't have to do a lot of deleted and entering.
Yeah.
And just handle the getting it from GitHub better than I did because that was pure amateur hour.
What? You did it in like 6
You did it.
seconds. What are you talking about?
Boom, nailed
It's
it.
perfect.
Under the pressure? Come on, dude. You crushed it.
And I assume Andrew just put the bonus content up there.
Yeah. So I remember that when I first built that one, I thought it was really cool, and then I instantly forgot about it. But building collections like that, I think there's value because you don't have to worry about variables at that point. You don't have to worry about anything. It just builds it, and I'm a big fan.
That's cool.
All right. If we don't have any more questions.
We're good.
All right. Thank you for talking about the file hash because that is something that I'm probably going to look into now. That definitely adds value. But hopefully this gives you a great start for automating things that you haven't had automated before because not doing stuff is the ultimate dream and we want to help you get there. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Do us a favor, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments because we'd love to hear what you have to say. And please join us on our PDQ community Discord. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you back here next time.